Oh, oh, hey there. It's me. How are you? It's been so long since we talked. Are you good? Okay, well that's wonderful. That is wonderful. Well, today we're going to be talking about Captain America: A Brave New World. I just watched the movie. I didn't like the movie. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't like the movie. Okay? A lot of the reasons why I didn't like the movie, just right off the bat, is that it's not enticing enough and it's boring. I just recently found out that it actually did hit a significant ROI. It's only a budget of only 150 mil or 100 mil. It hit $400 million as of time of recording this video. And I think there are some things to be said that are quite interesting. So let's talk about it. Starting off, the movie starts out in the follow-up of Sam Wilson, aka Anthony Mackie, or the Falcon, becoming Captain America after he had just stopped that other vigilant super soldier team back in the Winter Soldier and the Falcon TV show series. If you haven't seen it, that's kind of like the premise of it. Prior to all this, right, during Endgame, that's when Captain America gave away the shield and stuff. And I made a video about this before. This was on stream, but I just find it hard or I believe that it would have been hard, like this is before I even watched the movie, that it would have been hard for Anthony Mackie to hold up to such a high stature that Captain America did. I mean, it's Captain America. I mean, how can you live up to Captain America? It's Captain America, dude. And I don't think he did as bad as I interpreted, but I still don't think it'll ever feel the same. A huge component to why I did not like the movie is just the villain. I think the villain sucks. I think the villain is trash. Now, I like the villain's like beginner script motive of like he's intelligent, because we all know that intelligence or applied knowledge is the most powerful superpower of all time, besides like molecular control. Okay, okay. But the fact that he's too weak looking and just kind of like he's just a trash villain. He doesn't when he's on screen, I don't feel like a presence. I don't feel threatened. I don't feel anything when he appears on screen. It's just like he's just a villain, like the most forgettable villain of all time, genuinely. I also had a huge I was really confused at the fact that the movie was only like an hour and 48 minutes or like an hour 50, something like that. Like the movie was not that long, but we kept getting messages of like there's reshoots and all this other stuff. So I wonder if that's why they reduced it down. And I feel like the movie kind of just was very choppy. A lot of scene, not choppy. It's more so just things are going too fast. Like we haven't set things up yet, and I feel like you have to have like a lot of prior knowledge of like the old like all the other TV shows to know what's going on. Now, obviously that's the result of like the fandom, but like if people who just don't even know what's happening, they don't know what's happening, right? Something I did like was the action scenes. I thought the action scenes weren't too bad, you know. They look cool, right? Like you're not gonna get like bad looking scenes for the most part, Marvel, for the most part. Okay, Thor Love and Thunder has a little bit to say about that, but you're not gonna get a lot of like trashy looking, you know, parts, right? Like you get okay parts. Okay, in the movie though, there were good scenes when, you know, Hulk turned into Red Hulk, the president, etc. And he almost is like a Helmut Zemo, the villain, where he used like prior knowledge to infiltrate and create like a facilitated like debate or confrontation with Falcon and the president, because, you know, they already had the prior things with the Sam's one friend, the one that they discovered back in the day. He was like the original super soldier. I forgot his name, but who eventually went rogue in the beginning of the movie. Probably should turn my fan off. Oh well. So a lot of the moments in the movie were very like and what I mean is, the reason why I was so surprised with shorts like the reshoots, but also there was not establishment of creators or characters in the movie. Like Sam's friend, whoever his like friend sidekick is, almost like a Rush Hour type of thing going on. Somehow he knows how to fight and he's like this crazy fighter. Well, I'm like, who is this guy? It's the same thing with the chick, like the little like short midget chick, because I'm pretty sure that was the same chick from the Loki series, but the other chick in the Loki series was just she was just like in the TVA, so it never, so like she was a part of the timeline, I think, but she was like, that was her variant in the movie. I'm pretty sure, or unless it's like two different actors and I'm not even talking about the same, but I'm pretty sure it's the same chick. So I like what was happening, like in terms of like a script, like but I feel like there's a component that's missing to the script to either make it more foundational or create it like more concrete, right? Like if I'm the director, okay, so here's Shiloh's version of the movie. I want to establish storylines that sort of intercarve and weave themselves into each other to the final result. So I like when the movie, especially a movie like this, because I think that this movie had a huge potential. It actually had huge, like, not in terms of financial potential, but just good movie. Like, I don't really care about the box office hits and all that stuff, right? I don't really care about that stuff. But because there are tons of movies that are great movies and have never hit huge numbers. Something that I just feel like is foundational. And this is just my opinion. Also one thing I did like was I liked like the camera work and the seams, and it felt a little bit more natural, if that makes sense. Like it felt a little natural in terms of like camera work and stuff, but just the pacing seems a little bit too fast, if you get what I mean. And it's something that I like in certain movies, which I was expecting this to be like 2 hours something. And a reason why is like the foundational edition I'm talking about or thinking about is sort of pre everything, like getting the audience back into the mindset of the Avengers. Because it's about, a lot of people haven't thought about the Avengers or thought about Marvel in a long time, or haven't thought about movies or anything in a long time. So I want to get these people back into the mindset of what's happening, who people are. Get like, you gotta rewire their brains. Their brains they're not in it anymore, right? You gotta think about like even just economically and all types of things that's happened pre all this. Like there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the world. So in order to get people back on the train, we gotta train them to understand where the train is going. And so just my like, at least like beginning synopsis of what I would do is, you know, even just like the militant chick or the Asian guy, his sidekick or whatever, sort of have them have like little anecdotes, you know, like show where they are from. Who are they? They have no identity in the movie, which makes it seem slightly like soulless, or at least not passionate enough. It's the same thing with the villain. I don't feel as if I have enough care for what I'm looking at. I just don't care. Honestly, it's literally, I just didn't care. The villain was just very forgettable, and he's like just not scary, right? He's not like crazy. Like he looks crazy, but he's not psycho. Maybe that's, you know, the actor's performance. He's not like losing, because like if you look like that, how do you look like that and you're not crazy? Like I was expecting him to be like a psycho, like going crazy and like really give a performance. Like I think that Harrison Ford is actually a really good actor, and he did a pretty decent job with you know, bringing passion to the performance. But all in all, some of the like the villains stuff was just it was just forgettable, you know. Like when the Thanos, even in Ultron, even when Christian Bale played the one dude from Thor: Love and Thunder, like Christian Bale, like they sold on that, on putting a villain of that stature in a movie like that. Like it would have been in like that type of level of a villain could have went even crazier if the premise of Thor: Love and Thunder was a lot better and was just like if you put him in Brave New World, but not the same like actual villain, but just the same level of performance as a villain. You know what I mean? Because the villain is just not threatening. He's very forgettable. He doesn't have lines. He doesn't perform to the point where it's like, holy shit, that guy's insane. And what I mean is, like prior to this, when I say that the timeline kind of has to intertwine together to get like straight down the middle so we can come to a resolute, that's what I mean when I say establishing character development, like with each individual character who's going to play like a surmountable or have a surmountable amount of influence on the story at hand. Like, I understand that maybe there was like they didn't have enough time, or there was a lot of like reshoots, and I understand that there could be a lot of things like that, which is why I feel like the movie had a little bit of a weird pacing dynamic to it. I think that there were just moments where it just didn't feel, I didn't feel anticipated enough, or at least amped up to wonder or care about what's happening. I did like the anticipation that they did lead in, and that's what I'm kind of getting at, especially with the villain's motive of using his knowledge to infiltrate their hierarchy, or like their dynamic, right? Sam and the president. So it's not like it was the worst movie, but there were a little bit of like, I wouldn't even say little, but there are moments or things that could have changed how I seen this movie come into fruition. See, me, I think like I've said this before. I think I could be a good actor, 100%, but I think I would be a god tier director, like genuinely. I genuinely think I'd be an insane director. I'm not even trolling. Like, I have like there's so many ideas and shots and like things I've always thought of, but I just never like, there's no way. Because like I think that a huge component to why some like stuff in Hollywood and stuff, or like why people are like leaving Hollywood and aren't good actors, is like you got to go to like director school and like do all this other extra shit just to get into a position to even direct one of these films. It's kind of like, well, at that point, I mean, I guess, but that doesn't mean you're gonna pick your greatest minds. You're just gonna pick minds that are who are put in positions to actually get into that type of, right? So there's a whole lot with the DEI in Hollywood that they're doing now and all this other extra shit. I'm not gonna get into that. We're just gonna talk about the movie today. I mean, your opinions on that, your thoughts on that are gonna be your thoughts. I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm not too fond of it. I don't think it makes sense, but it is what it is. The movie overall was not great. It really wasn't. Was it the worst thing I've ever seen? No. I think it just was too fast. It kind of left us hanging a little bit, so I'm kind of anticipating something. I like the reunited bit with Bucky. I thought that was kind of. Oh, also, one thing, a few things I did like was they didn't do the jokey stuff too much. That's something I did appreciate. They didn't do the stupid jokey, like joking every fucking 8 seconds, right? And there was like a decent little joke with Bucky and Sam that they shared. I thought it was a nice little moment. That was something I appreciated a lot, because it was like you can't, some Marvel movies you couldn't even take serious because it was laughing all the time. Like the second Thor movie, Thor Dark World, that movie, a lot of people didn't like that movie, but I like that movie just based on like how serious stuff was. Like they took that shit serious. I think it's called The Dark World or Dark of the World or something, when they fought that elf nigga. And I also just kind of like their language, their like Asgardian sort of like Greek mythology type of like bravado that they have. I thought that was so neat. But yeah, just like with film in general, I've always loved film. And so like I've always had these like shots and like thoughts in my brain like, ooh, what if we did a shot like that? Or what if they did a shot like when I'm watching a movie, a lot of times I'm thinking about like the shots and like the CGI and like the luminescence of the lighting. How did they do that? Even the actress performance, like sometimes I get into the actor's head of like, ooh, you see how they're delivering that line or that role? Like RDJ is a huge, like RDJ is one of those, like, he just has that charisma to sell the movie. He has that like star power to just do it. I think that like RDJ, he has that bravado that it's not, I don't even know if you could teach the type of acting he does, but it's really, really fucking good. It's just a lot of like, when I'm watching movies, I'm not just watching a movie. I'm really like trying to think about, okay, what was the director thinking about this? How were they thinking about these shots? Even like Michael Bay is one of my favorite directors of all time. He probably is my favorite director, just because he has, like, I think if Captain America Brave New World was directed by Michael Bay, it would have been a masterpiece, because Michael Bay is just the GOAT, bro. People like to hate on Michael Bay movies because like they always say like there's like a Family Guy bit on it where like there's too many, like there's so much happening you can't even tell what's going on. But sometimes that's the fire part, and you just gotta have to have like the eye or recollection to understand what's happening. But with Michael Bay, you're gonna get great premises, great like militant, like just a similar, like, just great film. Like, he's just one of the greatest. Just the greatest. I think he would have did better directing that movie, but it is what it is. I don't know if he did or if he was a part of the broad team. Probably not, right? Probably not, right? I don't know if my mic's picking me up. Hopefully it is. That would suck if it's not. But yeah. So the movie was okay, honestly. I thought it was okay, and if I had to really rate it, I don't even know what I'd rate it. Probably like a 5.8. Honestly, I'm very strict with movies. My top echelon with movies. Music, I'm a little bit more, because it's kind of subjective with music. Movies too, but there's some objectivity to movies. You got to figure out how scripting and how pacing, timing, it all plays it together, right? But it was okay. Yeah, 5.8. Just not something I think is high in value to bring forth to an audience, in my opinion. Now, it's not like I have anything against anyone, okay? I like Anthony Mackie. He's pretty funny. He seems chill. He seems like a cool, respectful dude. They're also trying to cancel Anthony Mackie for saying he wanted to raise like respectful men. It was insane. Insane. But yeah, 5.8 on the cartel scale. The cartel scale. Oh my gosh. Or like the exo scale. Yeah. There it is. The exo scale. 5.8 on the exo scale is about it. Okay. So that was my review for Captain America Brave New World. With that being said, I'll see you when you're older. Peace.